Before I talk about today's topic in detail, I have a request for automakers that if they could be a bit simpler with naming cars. I'm talking today about Mahindra XUV 3XO Rev XA. Now, that's the name of the model, very complicated and complex. I'm sure they can make it easier and not a tongue twister. Uh, now, it recently announced for this very specific model, it is featuring Dolby's Atmos, making it an SUV under 12 lakh rupees to have this feature. Now, what does this mean for the industry? What does this mean for the consumer? And why is it happening? Let's discuss about it today. You know, audio has always been, I would say, underrated when it comes to immersive experience. We always think that it's about displays, it's about screens, which is not the case. It's half of the story. It's audio, unless audio complements the visual appearance, it will never give you that immersive experience. Just think of when you go to cinema. Of course you watch it on the bigger screen that is there. You also sit in your couches and relax, maybe at times enjoying some popcorn, and some coffee or something along with it, to really create that, I would say, mood of relaxing and enjoying some great movie. But what also makes that cinema experience great is the audio arrangement out there. Now, Dolby is a global leader in the space, where it has its patented technologies of how it can enhance the audio experience. And that's what Dolby Atmos is about. They have their Dolby Vision also, which also enhances the video experience. Now, what has happened over the years that consumers have increasingly become aware of this fact, and at the same time, I would give this credit to smartphone industry, where OEMs pushed Dolby enhancement, or for that matter, any kind of audio enhancement, as a value-added premium feature. Whenever they had to think of how do they add some more premium value to their phones, they would bring in Dolby as a feature there, or any of other competing technologies, which could be Harman or at times high-res audio. Now, what did it help in? Of course, it did elevate the immersive experience of users who, and remember, when you're doing audio, audio is one thing which you're experiencing almost every use case of a smartphone. Okay, it is probably only at the time of reading when you're not consuming it in audio. Otherwise, audio is something which is part of everything out there, be it gaming, be it meeting, be it watching OTT, or watching a video like this. So now this experience has to come into automobiles, because in today's I would say work pattern, you are going to spend a lot of time on road, either commuting to office or commuting between meetings, and your schedules don't let you that you could take all of these calls, all of these engagements in your office or at your home. You have to attend a lot of them while you're on the go. So this is one of the reasons why your audio experience has to go up. The second, of course, is about music. There is hardly any automobile which you will see on the road and without having music on, especially with the younger generation. I'd say Gen Z and beyond. And by the way, radio FMs are a big time hit in India, and that's with millennials, or with millennials also. So that's another reason why enhancing this experience will overall result in a higher satisfaction by the customers or the passengers in this case. Another reason is a lot of people, professionals, and who want to make every bit of their time productive, listen to a lot of podcasts. Now, podcasts were meant to be audio only, but nowadays podcasts have taken the YouTube route. So a lot of podcasts happening. So people in their cars can listen to these podcasts, sometimes informative, sometimes of their interest areas like politics. So there's a lot to leverage from. Of course, I wouldn't say gaming is a use case unless you are not driving. So you could also think of gaming, and of course, sometimes maybe watching your favorite OTT content. Because if you look at the metros and even some of the non-metros in India, the average time of commute from your office to home and vice versa is just going up by every day or by every month. Even though a lot of infrastructure augmentation is happening, at the same time the traffic jams are increasing, the commute time is increasing. So it is very essential that the audio experiences in the vehicles are elevated. Now, I was recently, meeting and interacting with Dolby folks in India, and they were telling me that they are seeing an interesting trend back in China, where a lot of people are watching live, content. For instance, concerts or matches or such, which are usually pay-per-view kind of content. They're watching them mostly in their vehicles. So and that's there's a reason to it, because you want to catch them live, okay, and that could be at any point of the time in the day, and you could be maybe returning back to home from your office, or you could be attending a meeting somewhere, in some other office, or doing any of the office related job. So that's where, if you have a better audio experience in your vehicle, you will get the same kind of experience what you're used to on your maybe mobile or any other, device you connect through. Now, what does this mean for the industry? Okay, so I have mostly talked about so far from the consumer point of view. Now, understand, we have seen, I think, for the past 5 6 years, industry has been only talking about the automobile industry has been only talking about the tech enablement in vehicles. And this tech enablement is not which is mostly under the hood, but over the hood. For instance, in the cabin, how are they elevating the experiences? How are they probably adding sensors? How are they automating lighting, wipers? So this is all consumer facing technology. And that's what in Techarc we have an auto, tech score also, where we benchmark vehicles vis-a-vis competition in terms of how they have their, how are they performing in terms of these, tech-enabled features, which are, responsible for adding to the overall satisfaction and experience of consumers. In this case, drivers and passengers. So that's very important, for automakers if they want to really elevate experiences, add to this customer satisfaction. They have to replicate the experiences which now users are used to in their homes as well as their offices, and they have to bring these experiences to the vehicles. And there is propensity to pay for these kind of experiences. So I wouldn't say that automakers will be able to make more money, but definitely they will be able to make much more happy customers because of adding these kind of features. So that's very important for the auto industry. Now, why this vehicle, this model from Mahindra becomes kind of a milestone to take note of? See, it is in sub 12 lakh rupees segment, which still in India, by Indian standards, is a very premium price point. But overall is, I would say, somewhere in the mid range. Uh, you know, this is an indicator of where the industry is heading. As I said, features like audio enhancement, features like technologies like Dolby, they were always seen as adding that layer of premiumness to the offering, to the base offering. Now here we are seeing this getting added in a 12 lakh under 12 lakh rupees car, which means now there is a very strong desire from the auto industry to bring these kind of premium features to masses, and make them also happy about their vehicles, their experiences with the vehicle. And I'm sure, in coming times, we are going to see these kind of features in more and more vehicles from other brands also. And lastly, Mahindra is an Indian brand. So good to see, an Indian brand taking kind of a lead over there and coming up with a feature. Remember, there's an intense feature, competition likely in the auto sector now, not just from Indian brands, but from brands outside also, and maybe brands from China, especially in the EV space, who are just loading their vehicles with many many features out there. So I think it's a proactive step, I would say, by Mahindra by introducing this kind of feature in a sub 12 lakh rupees SUV, which will have an impact on a very wide base of vehicle users in India, and this sets the trend ahead. That's what I have to talk in my Tech Byte for today. I'll be back with you in another episode. Till then, enjoy tech.